Today we're going to talk about the electrical system, just a basic overview of what's happening in a four-wheel pop-up camper. In your kitchen cabinet somewhere, you'll have your vent here. This is tucked back here is a power converter. We'll go over that next, but your electrical center, what we call a load center, is tucked in your kitchen cabinets. You'll have a door here. You'll have a label somewhere, either on the plastic cover or on the front of this wood cover. This will tell you your circuit breakers and your 12-volt fuses and what they go to. If you're plugged into shore power, this is your load center. All of your 120-volt electricity is coming through circuit breakers in here. So these need to be turned on for the system to work on 120-volt shore power. And for the rest of the camper, it's running on 12-volt. And that's going to be going through the fuse panel here. So these are your 12-volt fuses. There's a cover for it. The cover will pop off. And then you have your fuses, usually 1 through 12 here. They're labeled 1, 2, 3. Look at your black panel here and match it up to here. This is your master kill switch. This is really important. This is running your whole power supply. So whether you're running shore power or you're running strictly battery power in the camper, your kill switch is going to help control certain items inside the camper. Normal usage, customers will always leave this pulled out, which is on. That will allow power come through your 12-volt system, run your fans, your lights, your fridge, your furnace, and all that stuff. If this switch is off and you're not plugged into shore power, your camper will not have any power. So typical questions from new customers or customers that have bought a used camper and they're not familiar with their camper yet, they'll hop inside their camper, try and turn some lights on, and they think their camper battery is dead. Check your switch here first. This is in different locations in different campers over the years. Sometimes it's underneath the kitchen cabinet, sometimes it's on the front, and sometimes it's inside. So make sure that switch is on. That will give you full 12-volt power through your panel. If you're running electricity and this switch is on, that will allow your charge converter, your power converter in here, to apply power to this plug, and from this plug it will go back to your camper batteries. So if you're plugged into shore power and your switch is on, your camper batteries are going to get a full recharge if your camper is equipped with a power converter. If this switch is off and you're plugged into shore power, you won't be getting any extra charge to your battery system, but the camper will still function. So it's always a good idea to have that switch on, whether you're running 120-volt electricity or you're running on battery power. That will ensure that all of your appliances, your lights, your fans are working, your battery's getting charged up. When you put your camper away for storage and you're done with your trip, always a good idea to drain the water tank, close your roof vent, close your windows, turn your master switch off. That will shut everything down to keep the batteries as full as possible while they're in storage. So that's just a quick overview of what's happening in here. We'll show you the power converter on a separate picture. But back here is a 12-volt power converter. So when you're running electricity, shore power, 120-volt power goes from the circuit breakers into the power converter, and it's converting it from 120 to 12-volt. This is not something you have to touch, not something you really have to worry about. But if you plug into electricity and you're still not getting shore power, back here is a fuse that we'll show you. The power converter is very reliable, but if you've changed your batteries and you maybe touch terminals and they've sparked, sometimes the fuse in here has popped. So it's an easy fix, easy replacement of the fuse. But keep your circuit breakers on all the time. 12-volt switch on when you're using the camper. 12-volt switch off when you're not using the camper. And close it all up. This cover will go back on there. Shut your door and you're ready to go. Different campers have the batteries in different locations. These are the two 12-volt batteries. Cabinet door. All of the new campers, we have a sealed battery box, vented to the outside, lockable. Door opens up. Each new four-wheel camper comes standard with at least one 12-volt battery. We have an option to add the second 12-volt battery to give you more reserve power. So if you're running a compressor refrigerator that's running on battery power, most customers want dual batteries and a solar panel. If you're running a propane refrigerator, you can sometimes get away with just one battery. But two batteries is pretty common these days. People like to have a lot of reserve power, go longer without having to drive the truck. The wiring in here is pretty straightforward. The newer campers for the past few years, our red wires that are in here are going to the positive terminals. Our black wires are going to your negative, your ground terminals. And then we'll have two wires in there for the solar system. If your camper is not getting power for some reason, camper batteries could be drained, they could be dead, you left something on for too long, or they weren't recharged. The master switch that's up in your kitchen cabinets could be off, or you could have a fuse blown. Inside here, we have inline fuses that you should check as well, just for safety, both for the solar system and for the camper wiring in most circumstances. So make sure your batteries are charged up, make sure your terminals are tight, make sure your fuses are good, make sure your switch is on. If that doesn't work, you can plug your camper into shore power, see if everything comes on there. If you have further questions past that, you can check our website and download our full owner's manual. It will cover more details about the system, or you can call our service shop and ask for the service department, and they can try and help you walk through it over the phone as well. On the front of your kitchen cabinets, a little bit more part of the electrical system. On your monitor panel here, you have a button for your freshwater tank. This is your water levels. The other one that says BATT, the battery. Push that button in. It will give you a general idea on how well charged up your camper battery or batteries is. This is really generic. It's not telling you a whole lot of information. If you have 3 dots lit up, that usually means your batteries are pretty full. If you have all 4 dots lit up, that means typically your truck's running or you're plugged into shore power. Full charge is happening. If you're down to just a couple dots on there for battery, your batteries are probably at 50 to 60% and almost completely drained. So you'll want to start your truck or plug into shore power, park your truck in the sun if you have a solar panel. Up here is newer campers have USB outlets for charging laptops, cell phones, camera batteries. Standard plug, we have 4 of them. We have an old style 12-volt plug, the old cigarette lighter style plug if you have an old appliance or an old cell phone charger. You can plug things in here. Sometimes people use a power inverter. This outlet here is 120 volt shore power. This does not do anything unless you're plugged into a campsite, plugged into a generator, or you have shore power like from your garage. So if you're out camping parked in a field, this does nothing. We do not have a power inverter built into the 4-wheel campers at this time. We have a power converter that takes shore power, converts it to 12-volt battery power, and then the rest of the camper is getting 12-volt battery power for lights, fans, furnace, water pumps, USBs. These are 12-volt, 12-volt socket here. But if you try and plug something into here and you're not plugged into shore power, nothing's going to happen with this. You would need to get a small power inverter and plug it in here, set it on your couch or your kitchen cabinets. So that's pretty much the rest of the system. On the front exterior of the camper, typically you're going to have a plug attached to these wires. This is a brand new camper. We left the plug off to show you what wires are located in there. This is going from the truck to the camper plug. So part of our camper installation, tie downs, wiring, plug in the truck bed, This wire is going to be the white wire is on the four-wheel, is always positive. It's your positive terminal. Your black is your ground, your negative terminal. And if you have one of the larger size campers, you'll have a green wire in the middle. This is for running lights, your marker lights on the outside of the camper. So when you turn your headlights on at night, this wire is powered up, lights come on. These are your charging wires. So when the camper is plugged into the truck bed, your camper battery or batteries are getting recharged from your truck when you're driving down the road. Pretty simple system. We usually take care of this here at the factory or your local dealer when they're doing their install. They'll attach a marine plug on here in the truck bed as well. They'll plug the camper and truck together before they put it on, set the camper in the truck bed, hook your turnbuckles up, and you're ready to go. So white, positive, black, ground, and green running lights. For hooking up your camper to outside shore power, like campsite power, generator power, your garage, you would have on the side of your camper somewhere, you have a cover. Newer campers have a 30 amp power connection. So this connection here is regular, what in the USA, like regular house power, 120 volt current, but these 3 prongs are 30 amp service, which is more of an RV type plug. If your camper comes with your outlet here and it's built inside, you will also have an adapter cord that comes standard with the camper. You can open your cover, twist on your connection, and then from here on the back side of this guy just has a regular house connection for the USA. Take your extension cord, plug it into your campsite, your generator, your house, plug this in here. You'll see a little blue light up here. It's hard to see, but there's a little blue light on the top. That's showing that there's power coming through this cord into the camper. On the inside of the camper, referring back to what we showed you earlier, the circuit breakers, make sure your 120 volt circuit breakers are in the on position, and then everything in the camper should power up. This will provide power to everything inside the camper, and if your master kill switch is pulled out, which is the on position, this will also recharge your camper batteries for you, which is a great thing to do. If you have shore power available, might as well get your batteries topped off and fully charged before you leave. When you leave your campsite, you can just lift your cover, give this a little turn to the left, wiggle it out, close your cover, and you're ready to go. On the newest four-wheel campers for the last year or two, we use the IOTA. This is a power converter. So your camper is plugged into shore power. From here, electricity goes inside to your circuit breaker. From your circuit breaker, it's connected to a 30 amp power converter. This is converting outside electricity, 120 volt, down to 12 volt battery power. We use the IOTA DSL30. IQ4 is a smart charger. So this has a smart charger built in to charge your camper batteries the most efficient way possible for whatever type of battery you're running in there. If you plug your camper into shore power and you have a power converter in your camper and you're not getting power to the camper, like things aren't lighting up and nothing's working, most likely the fuse is blown. We try and make it as easy as possible. This power converter is tucked up in the kitchen cabinets behind the vent that we showed you earlier. So it's not easy to get to, but we take the fuse here at the end and we put in an external fuse. So this fuse is normally tucked back in here with a couple set screws. So we put it outside so it's easier to get to. If you're not getting shore power coming into your camper and things aren't working, first thing you should do is make sure your circuit breakers are on. That's the most common problem. Electrical panel inside, turn the circuit breakers on. If that doesn't work, check your fuse. Pull your fuse cover off here, open that up, change the fuse out, and that should solve your problem. If not, go ahead and take a look at our service manual, owner manual online. Download that or call our service center here and ask for a service tech, and they'll try and walk you through what's happening. But electrical power converter, and then this is pushing out 12 volt to run all of your appliances inside.